Hello guys, we are back with another What If Jujutsu Kaisen video. So, this is gonna be what if Yuji could copy curse techniques. Now, not in the way that Yuta copies, where it's like limited to 3, 4, or 5, I think. I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure it's 3, 4, or 5. And he did need Uro's techniques. And also, Yuji doesn't have to eat the body parts of people to gain the techniques. All he has to do is touch them one time. One time. That's all Yuji has to do. So with that being said, if he touches Hanami, he'll be able to have her nature cursed technique. I don't know what it's called. I'll say it's disaster plants because, you know, she controls nature. So yeah, anyways, what if Yuji could copy cursed techniques? Improved. So think of it as like, what if Naruto could copy Kekai Genkai? Which that did blow up on my channel like 2 years ago or something. But anyways, it is 9:04 a.m. on a Saturday, and I don't think I'm busy, so I'll be making this. Also, I didn't make a video like a couple days ago. I didn't post it, but it was what if Yuji damn, what was it? I forgot. Sorry guys. Anyways, what if Yuji could copy curse techniques? Start. So, we are gonna skip from where he calls his grandfather, as his grandfather tells him to go to his club. Now he does, as it's called, like the Cursed Occult Club. I almost said Global Occult Club, but that's another fandom. that's a group that's in another fandom. So yeah. Anyways, he goes there, meets his two friends, they chat it up. Then the principal walks in saying the club is disbanded. They need this room for better because there's only 2 members, and also they're not really doing much like as an official group. Everything else goes as in canon. The gym teacher walks in, challenges Yuji, saying that if he wins, he can come back to the club of the Cursed Occult Club. And yeah, anyways, that competition happens. Yuji throws the ball, hitting the soccer post, and this is when he begins to run home, as he has the cursed finger thing case. Now, Megumi was gonna try and talk with Yuji, but Yuji was already long gone. Now, with that being said, the fact that Yuji could copy Kekai Genkai, not Kekai Genkai, cursed techniques, if he eats Sukuna, immediately off the rip, just because he touched one of Sukuna's fingers, he gets Sukuna's technique called Shrine. But he hasn't touched Sukuna's technique. Also, he's going to be eating Sukuna's finger to become a vessel, so literally it's guaranteed he gets Shrine. Now, yeah. Let's begin. Yuji makes it to his grandfather. Everything else goes as in canon. He talks with his grandfather. As his grandfather would say, Yuji, you're a strong kid, so help others. Surround yourself with other people, the people that you love. Don't be like me. Die around the people that you love. Now, it's kind of crazy because you kind of died in front of your grandson. So, isn't that a person that you love? But I understand what he's talking about. Anyways, he dies. Grandpa Yuji dies. Now, Yuji calls nurses, and everything else was as in canon. They bring him to some cremation room, which is pretty quickly somehow, or I guess she's talking about cremation, and that's when Megumi would show up saying, Yuji, Itadori, I have something to talk to you about. As Yuji would be like, alright. Now, as they're talking, Megumi would show him a picture of a cursed finger, or technically it's like a casing. Yuji says, yeah, I have it right here. As he takes it out, Megumi quickly opens it, saying, where the hell was the thing that was inside of it? As Yuji says that his friends have it back at school, Megumi says that they're in big trouble or in big danger and that they might die. As we skip on to a time where Yuji grabs the arm of Megumi, saying, wait, let me go with you. As Megumi would shrug off his arm. Now, the thing about Shikigami, I'm gonna make them the complete same, I guess. Yeah, I'll make them the complete same. There's no point in changing it. So, Yuji unknowingly copied, well, the 10 shadows. So, with that being said, Sukuna was actually, we're not gonna go beyond this point. Let's continue. So, they begin to run. Yuji gets there. Megumi tells him to stay, but Yuji can't. Like, he just can't take that. Now, you go into a time to where Yuji bursts through the window, punches the curse, grabs his friend and the finger, and this is when, another curse shows up, one bigger and stronger, and Yuji is trapped between the jaws of this curse, holding it by his 2 legs, as he would eat the finger. Now, main things that would happen, he touched one of Sukuna's fingers, giving him the curse technique of Shrine, and we continue with Sukuna's reawakening. Sorry. So, Sukuna is reawakened as... Let me take these off. Sorry, guys. I'm walking around, and it's making noise. Anyways, Sukuna is reawakened as he starts laughing. As he's like, do I recreate the laugh? No, I can't recreate the laugh because my voice isn't that good right now. It's in the morning. So yeah, he begins to laugh saying, "It's marvelous, reborn in the flesh." Now, as this is said, Megumi would say, "Yuji Todori, you are considered a curse, and I will exorcise you as Jujutsu regulations require." Now, as this is said, we just head on to a time to where Gojo would show up. So, Megumi, what's okay? As Megumi would say, "Where the hell were you, Gojo?" It doesn't matter. He ate the finger and became one of Sukuna's vessels. As Gojo would take a closer look, saying, "Oh, Sukuna really did merge with you. Oh well, hey." As, Yuji obviously would take back control, as Sukuna would be pissed, saying, "This brat is suppressing me." As anyways, Gojo would ask for those 10 seconds, and then knock out Yuji. Yuji is within a room now. Now, the thing about Yuji, do I allow him to copy Idol Transfiguration? Hell yeah. But the thing about it is, when you have many techniques, think of it as all for one. You can't master all of them. Like, All For One probably has so many techniques that he just doesn't use. And I really think, the amount of techniques, there gets to a point where it's too dangerous to have. Well, actually, no. We're going to get rid of that side effect. Anyways, Yuji is in the room of these seals, and this is when Gojo would explain everything. He takes the deal saying that he'll eat all 20 fingers, then die, and we just have a time to where he's promptly introduced into Jujutsu High. Now, with Yuji being able to copy the technique, or any technique, first off, within his mind, he gets a base understanding of what the technique is, how to use it, and what it does. So, Shrine, cutting and slashing, and I guess fire, which, I don't know where the hell that comes in. I guess it's just because kitchen, the chef. That's literally the only analogy that most people would go off on. But, yeah. Anyways, Yuji would say, "So, Gojo, how many techniques can one sorcerer have?" As Gojo would say, "Well, it's only one specific technique. You can't have 2 innate techniques." As Yuji would summon divine dogs. As Gojo would be like, this is interesting. And then Yuji would point at a wall saying, "Dismantle." It is weak. It's very weak. Just so you know, he does have to train these techniques. So yeah. But anyways, let's continue. Yuji is fed a second finger as Gojo wants to test if he can control Sukuna. And we head on to a time to where he is admitted into Jujutsu High. As that cursed puppet that was about to punch him from Principal Yaga. Well, it gets cut. It gets cut. Not cut in half, just gets cut. As Yaga would be like, this kid's more of a threat than I thought. Well, doesn't matter. At least he's on our side. As anyways, we just have about a 1 week time skip as Yuji has been training within these sort of techniques. Now, Gojo has been monitoring Yuji for a while as he thinks he knows what's going on. Yuji has 2 innate techniques, but he actually has 3. The third one, or the first one technically, being copy. The second one being, oh my god, I just almost said the second shadows. The 10 shadows. And the third one being shrine. So Gojo knows something is up because there's no way Yuji would have 2 unrelated techniques. Technically, Yuji is literally Sukuna or Meguna. So yeah. But anyways, oh yeah, do we make this into a movie or just a part 1? I have a lot of time. We can make this into a movie. We are going to be only going to Sendai. So a lot of things are going to change. But I do need the Culling Games to happen. The Culling Games have to happen. So yeah. Anyways, 1 week goes by and everything like that. They meet Nobara. They go and yeah. So this is actually just to test Nobara. So it's the same arc where the kid was getting held hostage. Yuji takes care of it after it kind of spirals out of control and she loses her guard and everything like that. So yeah. Anyways, after that, they are sent to the detention center as, let's just say 2 weeks go by and then they are sent to the detention center as they're just going there to investigate. Nobara, Yuji, and Megumi. So, Yuji has trained within the 10 shadows and has trained his shrine to have the ability to use cleave. Now, cleave is so important because whether you're a grade 4 curse or a special grade curse, the energy that's going to be expended is going to be to your level. So if you're grade 4, it's going to be a grade 4 slash. If you're a special grade, it's going to be a special grade class. As long as you can meet the requirements of that energy output expenditure or level. But anyways, let's continue. They make it to the detention center. Immediately upon entering, immediately upon entering, it is a innate domain, as this is when they are just walking around. Nobara gets snatched up by some baby-headed curse, and yeah. Anyways, Megumi and Yuji would begin fighting, saying, "No, let's go find Nobara." As Megumi would say, "We'll find her later. She'll be fine." Fine. Oh my god. As anyways, they are continuing, but this is when the finger bearer would show up on the right. As it's like a panel of both of them looking at each other, as the finger bearer is just right there. Yuji, since he doesn't have Slaughter Demon, of course, because, he has cursed energy and the ability to actually use it, because I gave him that, because if I didn't, then he kind of won't be able to train with his techniques post Shibuya or post Kyoto Sister exchange event. But anyways, this is when Yuji would point at the curse, one of the curse's arms, cleave. As the curse's arm would come off, this is when Yuji would summon Nue. Now, of course, the finger bearer would easily dodge this, but it's just something that really caught the curse off, because it's like, okay, he just sent a strong ass attack at me, and then he just sends a weak ass burn. Now, the finger bearer would punch Nue. Megumi would get out of there as Yuji would tell him to leave. Now, this is the point. Sukuna is desperate to put that, binding vow on Yuji to where, in chain where he can take control for a minute or so. He is desperate. He is very desperate. You see, Yuji with, Megumi's technique, oh, he's cooking. Anyways, so Yuji gets kind of cooked up by the finger bearer, but Yuji continues to send dismantles and cleaves, as it is a long fought battle. At the end, he passes out. Now, of course, the finger bearer is laid there, dead. One of Sukuna's fingers is there. Sukuna takes control, gets up, eats the finger, and he is about to go on a rampage. Kidding. So, this actually plays out in the way I like. Yuji is technically dead, as Sukuna rips the heart out from Yuji. And, you know, Sukuna goes, bullies Megumi a little bit, same as in canon. He doesn't use Megumi's techniques, of course, not yet. But anyways, Yuji takes back control and dies. So, events are going as canon, but, you know, very, very lovely. By the way, what is Shoko's technique? Alright, well, I guess Shoko's just that goated to the point where I thought she had a technique because she was really healing others with just RCT. Yo, RCT, bro. Shoko is the Tsunade of JJK, bro. Okay, let's continue. We have the time where Yuji wakes up on that, you know, morgue, as Shoko would be surprised. The guy that's Nanami's friend would be surprised. And Gojo would be surprised. Now, Yuji is unaware of the binding vow. He is unaware because it's the same one as in canon, in chain. So yeah. Or switch, I don't know. But anyways, we continue on as 2 months go by. Or I'll say we're going to cover the 1 to 2 month span of where the story's going to go. Yuji is sent with Nanami. Now, Nanami's technique ratio. Do I want to use that? Like, can it even be paired up with Cleave, or I think it can. So yeah, anyways, Yuji would shake Hanami's hand and be like, huh, so I guess my technique really is copy. As, seriously. So, anyways, Yuji says that, and Nanami is like, what are you talking about, Yuji? As Yuji explains, saying that he touched Megumi, got the 10 shadows, he touched one of Sukuna's fingers and got Shrine, and he touched Nanami, his hand, and he got Ratio. Now, what Ratio is 7-3. So you create a forcible weak spot. No matter what the durability of the person is, it can be Hanami. And Hanami is the most durable. You create a weak spot, and imagine pairing that up with Cleave. Completely obliterates Hanami. But I will say, since Yuji is weak, it's only going to be an output of first grade sorcerer to semi-first grade sorcerer levels. The only reason he was able to beat the Finger Bearer was because the Finger Bearer was an idiot, was playing around, and got caught lacking in the first couple of seconds. Granted, Yuji did pass out right after, though. So anyways, they go on to investigate some theater. As this is obviously the first appearance of Mahito and everything like that. So yeah. Anyways, Yuji sees the 3 cursed spirit bodies, or cursed corpses, as he looks and he sees cursed energy residue. He obviously does. Now, one thing he hasn't been able to do is touch Gojo. Now, I really want, this to happen. I want Yuji to be able to, touch Gojo's hand or something. But Gojo doesn't want that to happen. He's afraid what would happen if there's 2 Six Eyes users. Actually, no. My bad. Gojo's not afraid. I'm afraid because I just don't understand what would happen if there's 2 Six Eyes and Limitless users in one era. The amount of curses that are gonna get stronger from that, we just might have to make it happen because we are going into the Culling games. So yeah. Anyways, let's begin with, where were we? The Mahito arc. So, everything else goes as in canon, Junpei, everything like that, because Yuji doesn't meet Mahito yet. So yeah. Anyways, we continue on. So, let's see. Yuji, Mahito has killed or used the curse to kill Junpei's mother. Junpei goes to the school, does all that poison jellyfish thingies, and that's when Yuji shows up, takes quick work of Junpei, of course summoning Nue and divine dogs and everything like that. And yeah, guys, we paired this up with Shrine and Ratio, bro. Like, come on. Even divine totality, because one of the Yuji's dogs died and he made it as divine totality or totality. And imagine that dog, which is like times more stronger than the original dogs, with Ratio. Come on now. Anyways, let's just have a time. A time to where Mahito would show up, transfiguring Junpei. Now, with that being said, Yuji had to touch Junpei. So he gets Junpei's technique here. Along with that, it's any physical contact from the fist. So technically, Yuji's powers are just from his fist. Or anything, like any of his body parts touches someone, he gets to copy their technique. Yuji has poison. And I gotta remind you guys, Yuji will be getting blood release. It's literally his birthright to have that. He is literally a cursed Death Womb painting, technically. If you put it into perspective, Yuji is half cursed because of Kenjaku. Well, not half cursed, but at some point, he becomes half cursed and everything. His entire family bloodline is kind of cooked. Anyways, Junpei dies. Yuji asks Sukuna for help. Sukuna just laughs at him, along with Mahito. Yuji punches Mahito and says, "So this is your cursed technique, huh? Idol transfiguration?" As Yuji would turn his hand into like a small little spike. Mahito, his eyes would widen, saying, "So it's true. You could copy techniques? How exhilarating!" As he would rush in at Yuji, touching him, Sukuna would say, "I'll give you a warning. Don't touch me." Mahito would have gotten punched back, and then Yuji would use a dismantle, cutting his arm off, as he would actually have to use RCT to actually heal this. Not RCT, but he would have to heal his arm back. Reminder, it touched the soul because Yuji is his natural enemy. Alongside that, Yuji has idol transfiguration. Now, Yuji would touch Mahito, and their cursed energies would begin to clash. As Yuji would be hit back, he'd be sent flying into the building, or the school wall. Now, Mahito would have sent one of his arms, making it into a spike and shoving it straight into Yuji's chest. As with that being said, Yuji would punch Mahito back, hitting him with a ratio cleave, as Mahito would get heavily damaged here. Now, Yuji, not being the one to not adapt, he would adapt immediately. Guys, this just came to my mind. Yuji's gonna be able to copy Maharaga's technique. Even though it's a part of the 10 shadows, if Megumi summons it, it's a different user, he'll be able to copy it. Oh man. Anyways, Yuji heals himself with idol transfiguration, and this is just a stacked build. Like, honestly, first off, he has 10 shadows, he has Shrine, he has Ratio, he has Junpei's technique, and he has idol transfiguration. He's stacked. Now, with that being said, the Jujutsu world is now aware. Well, actually not yet. They just think Yuji's dead. So, yeah. But once Yuji resurfaces, he's going to be the biggest target known to the Jujutsu world. A person that can copy techniques, even Kenjaku would want his own son's body. Pause. That sounds wild. But Kenjaku did birth Yuji to become an experiment. So yeah. But anyways, Mahito would be getting jumped. As Nanami would have showed up, Mahito can't let this happen. You see, Mahito would use a domain expansion. Yuji would have been pushed out. Now, with that being said, Yuji can't, I don't think you could put ratio on a domain to break it, but what Yuji would do is he would summon Max Elephant on top of the domain. As it would crack just slightly, Max Elephant's trunk would swing at one side as it would leave a little hole. That's when Yuji would walk in. As Sukuna would say, "I warned you." Now, Mahito, even more damage, would have gotten cleaved by Sukuna. Anyways, he would decide to run away. As we end the Mahito arc. I really like how I'm doing this what if. It's balanced, of course. Yuji's not one-shotting people, but he's obviously learning a lot within these fights. And Yuji is an adaptive character. It shows that in Shinjuku, where he got those arms, which is it dried blood arms? I have no idea. But anyways, we just continue with Kyoto Sister Exchange event. Now, I do want to remind you guys, Yuji is at 3 fingers of Sukuna. So I was about to say some crazy shit. So yeah. 4 and 5 don't exist. 4 exist at the Yasuichi Bridge. And that's after Kyoto Sister. It's 100% after your Kyoto Sister Exchange event. So Yuji is revealed to be alive as Principal Gaku Ganji, 76-year-old man by the way, orders the execution by telling the Kyoto students to kill him and everything like that during the Kyoto Sister Exchange event. So yeah. Anyways, terrible mistake by the way. You really shouldn't try to kill Yuji. So, let's continue. Yuji is shown to be alive. Megumi and Nobara would be like, "What the hell, dude?" Now, the reason I'm not gonna have Yuji copy he really... No. The reason I'm not gonna allow Yuji to copy Nobara's techniques is because I'll just say this is literally like not Yuji's style of fighting. Yuji doesn't want to use little nails to hit the souls of people and easily win. So yeah. Also, actually, I don't know. Like, I'll just say Yuji can now control copy to not want to copy other people's techniques. So yeah, we are at 5 techniques right now. We could continue because there's no limiter like Utah. So yeah. And also, people are gonna be like, "Oh, why don't you just title it as what if Yuji had Utah's abilities?" Well, Utah's abilities requires him to eat people, so yeah, I know. Like, that would literally be the best curse technique for a curse. Like, literally, you're a cursed user, like Kenjaku. Like, if Kenjaku got the body of Utah, he would have won. He would have won. He would have eaten Mahito. Pause. Anyways, let's continue. So, the event starts. Now, Yuji would run with his team as Todo would begin to show up, punching a curse in front of them, as Yuji would stay behind to fight Todo. Now, Todo would ask the age-old question, "What's your type?" As Yuji would say, "I like him tall with a fat ass." As Todo hears this, he's like, "Brother." As he begins to fight with Yuji would begin to keep up with him. Now, with that being said, Todo would clap as Yuji would swap. Now, Yuji has already touched Todo and has his technique. As Yuji would smile, saying, "Well then." He claps, swapping places with Todo, as Todo's eyes would widen, smiling, saying, "You really are something, huh, Yuji Todori? I heard about you. They said your ability is to copy techniques, similar to Utah Kotsu, right?" I was bummed out when he didn't show up for the event, but when you were said to be alive, I was pumped. Now, with that being said, Todo's team would show up, that being the Kyoto team. Damn. Miwa would show up, Mai would show up, Kamo Noritoshi, Mekamaru, Momo, and I think I'm missing one more. Okay, here we got Todo, Mai, Momo, Miwa, Mekamaru, Kamo Noritoshi. That's 6. With the inclusion of Todo Aoi, of course. Exclusion, my bad. Anyways, one arrow gets shot at Yuji. As Yuji would look up, he would point at Kamo, saying, dismantle. As Kamo's entire chest would have gotten cut, he wouldn't die, but of course he would be brutally injured. Not brutally injured, he would get cut. Just like shallow cuts, just small little cuts. It doesn't hurt him that much. But anyways, Yuji says, hey, so I'm kind of fighting someone here, so why don't you get off my back? Or else I'll have to deal with all of you. As Mai would say, oh please. There's no way you're gonna deal with all 7 of us. As Todo would say, don't you mean 6? Look, this is my battle, so don't interrupt me. I already said this once. If you interrupt me again, as this is when a loud explosion would occur. Now, in the middle of Jujutsu High, first of all, a veil has been placed. That being from the coat rack guy or something. Gojo can't enter, which that leaves their biggest card out. And along with that, Mahito is there, but Mahito's the one that's sneaking into the hidden inventory. And Hanami would be there. Now, they would scatter. And of course, Yuji and Todo would begin or continue their fight. And then they would make it to back where everything was. They encounter Hanami. First of all, Yuji saves Megumi. Noritoshi is there along with Toge Inumaki. And everything like that. So what happens here? Yuji cooks up Hanami. Hanami would get outclassed, as Yuji would have hit 4 black flashes. As Todo said he would not help Yuji, but it seems that Yuji doesn't really need help. Now, Yuji would get hit by one of those cursed roots, as it would start to grow. As of course, Yuji doesn't know what to do. Todo says, stop flowing cursed energy. As the bud would come right off. As Todo punches it right off of Yuji's body. Yuji would have been heavily damaged here, but still able to fight. Now, with most of his technique or cursed energy being sapped from him, he brings out the hand. As Yuji and Todo begin to, jump Hanami, Hanami is holding her own. Reminder, Yuji did hit 4 black flashes, which now he understands all of his cursed techniques. To a greater extent, he understands cursed energy on top of that. So yeah. Anyways, let's continue on. Hanami is prepared to do something, as the flower on her left shoulder begins to bloom. Homemade expansion! But before she could continue that, Gojo's hollow purple would come careening down the entire forest. As Todo would say, Yuji, get out of there! As Todo would clap, Yuji would appear right next to him, as he swapped places with a pebble or some shit. And, yeah. So, Hanami nearly gets killed, as she runs away. And this is the end of the Kyoto Sister Exchange event. Now, Todo would talk with Yuji, saying that he has so much potential, to the point where he thinks he can become the strongest of today. You guys see what I did there? Okay, yeah, I'm cringy. Okay, anyways, the next arc, the Yasuichi Bridge. So, with that being said, 3 cursed wombs were stolen, along with 10 or 11 of Sukuna's fingers. Now, the Yasuichi Bridge arc. There's a finger bearer, there's Eso and Kejitsu. Eso is the black guy, Kejitsu is the green curse, I think. So yeah, let's get on with it. Do you really gotta do this arc? What is Eso's ability? Because Kejitsu has toxic blood, like acid-like blood. But I kind of... Okay, usually would have to channel that specific cursed energy to get that type of, toxic spit or something, or just blood. He's still gonna get that type of manipulation. Because both of them consider it being poison, So with that, Junpei's poison, everything like that, which, you know, Yuji has not used yet on sorcerers. So yeah. But with that being said, Junpei could have been a special grade. So Yuji obviously is going to utilize this way better and everything like that. Because obviously Junpei couldn't utilize it because he's dead. So yeah. Anyways, Yuji jumps Esso and takes care of him quickly. Along with that, he copies the technique of Esso, being able to mark people for death as they would slowly begin to weaken and, you know, they would begin to weaken. It's poison. As that is said, Kejutsu would be killed by, you know, Megumi, or my bad, Nobara, as she hits a black flash, and Megumi begins to fight the special grade. Now, Megumi wins using Domain Expansion Shadow Chimera Garden, because we do need him to experience this, because in the culling games, we are going to have him be alone the entire time. Yeah, Yuji's running a gauntlet. So yeah. Anyways, Megumi would show up, give Yuji the finger, and guys, I did skip some key events, like Megumi going back to his school, saying hi to everyone, finding out that his sister was also marked for death. So yeah, I am skipping some key events. But anyways, Yuji is at 4 fingers, as we could commence the big shot shows. Now, let's just say 2 weeks go by. The 31st of December, or was it the 28th? No, it was October. Halloween, 25th. So let's just say all these events happened 14 days before 25th. So there's no way. On the 11th of October is when Yuji ate the finger. So we're gonna have a 2-week time skip and explain what happened within those 2 weeks. Okay, so first off, Yuji has trained most of his techniques. Alongside that, Gojo, fully realizing what Yuji could become, he decides to give Yuji the 6 eyes and the limitless. Yuji touches Gojo's hand. As immediately, Yuji would be shot with an entire amount of just information overloading his brain, as he would start to hurt. His eyes would start to hurt, as his eyes are blue. Now, alongside that, he doesn't have, infinity, because infinity is just blue, right? I don't know. Because there's 6 eyes, limitless, and infinity is actually just a move, I'm pretty sure. Because limitless, 6 eyes allows him to, understand things. Limitless is like the blue, the red, everything like that. So anyways, Yuji trains with that and everything like that. Oh my goodness. Now we just have a powerhouse. You see, with that being said, the higher ups are like, okay, this guy is getting dangerous. There's literally nothing we can do, because at this point, Yuji has 7 techniques. Yeah, Yuji has 7 techniques, or 8 if you count Kejutsu, or my bad, 9 if you count Kejutsu. But we're gonna say 8 because we don't want Kejutsu's acid blood. We more like the guy with the markings who can mark people with roses and shit, and it's like a black tattoo. So yeah. Anyways, Yuji is gonna be known as the second coming of Gojo. So yeah. Anyways, the Shibuya incident will start. So Mei is with Yuji and Uiui as they begin to walk the tunnels of Shibuya. Now, Yuji at this point would be making quick work of any curse. First off, he's not going to get beaten by his brother. But at some point, I do need him to realize that Choso is his brother. So I'm going to give him that flashback that hits him. So yeah. Also, yes, the culling games will start. Now, with Yuji having Limitless and 6 eyes, first of all, he's able to, use his techniques way more efficiently. So technically, I just boosted Yuji to a point where he's special graded and beyond, but I do have to nerf some abilities. So Cleave and Dismantle, I'll just say it gets to a certain point where he could. No, never mind. Forget that. I'm not limiting anything. Anyways, Shibuya. Cockroach curse or whatever the hell. Grasshopper, my bad. Or freaking locust guy. gets instantly obliterated. Continue. Yuji goes down, fights Choso. Choso gets beaten. As Yuji is about to kill Choso, he gets that big flashback. He's at a table with 3 people. One of them he killed, that being Eso. There's Kechitsu, the one that Nobara killed, and Choso. Yuji doesn't know, but he's like, wait, what? As this is when, like, you know, Choso passes him like a plate of food, saying, here you go, brother. As that being said, Yuji would like stop immediately as he's like, brother. As Choso would be looking at Yuji. Now, reminder, Yuji just got, you know, blood release, blood manipulation. He's gonna be able to use flowing red scale. Along with that, there is a technique that just boosts his physical strength, which I really hated that they didn't use within the anime. And also, the reason why Yuji actually got that flashback was because he has the so like when he actually touched Choso, he got the entire blood manipulation, and that means he has blood connection. So it's like a sixth sense, allows him to feel the death of his brothers, or I guess about to feel the death of his brothers. So yeah. Anyways, with that being said, flowing red scale, he has that. He has everything. I don't think actually he's actually most likely gonna be the one to have Wing King, because Wing King is literally an imitation of Eso and everything like that. So yeah. Anyways, Yuji would say Idol Transfiguration, touching Choso, as Choso would fully heal. Now with that being said, Yuji would say, look, I don't know how to say this, but I think you're my brother. Now with that being said, someone would show up. He is angry. He's a magma man. Reminder, Nanami, everybody else, Megumi, Maki, Nanami, and Naobito are within the domain of Dagon. So anyways, Jogo would show up. Actually, no. This is after the fact. So this is after that domain was landed and Dagon is killed, and, you know, Toji killed Dagon, takes Megumi somewhere, and yeah. Jogo fries up the 3. Naobito is still alive, I think. He's just not around. I'm not sure. Naobito dies. Maki survives. Nanami survives. Jogo goes and finds Yuji. This is where Yuji is in front of Choso saying, I think you're my brother. As anyways, Jogo would show up saying, Yuji Tadori? As he would show up with 10 of Sukuna's fingers, he would appear right in front of Yuji and start force-feeding the fingers right into Yuji. Now, with that being said, Yuji has Idol Transfiguration. He puts a hand on, you know, Jogo, but Jogo immediately, you know, backs away. With that being said, Jogo has already fed Yuji all 11 fingers. Now, surprisingly, Yuji has not been taken over by Sukuna. As, you know, Sukuna is just, you know, sitting back. He has this vessel secured. One day. As anyways, Yuji would have, you know, his power would have grown exponentially, because reminder, Yuji has Shrine, and, yeah, any finger that he gets, it's literally just the Sukuna's powers entering in him. So anyways, Yuji would, rush in at Jogo, and they begin to fight. Now, that being said, Yuji would use all of his techniques. You see, Jogo and Yuji are at the same level a little bit. Actually, what the hell am I doing? Yuji has Limitless. So, Yuji uses a Lapse Blue. Nah, I'm not even gonna entertain this fight. Jogo gets absolutely whooped. And Jogo gets killed by Yuji by a cleave ratio. But the fight was like drawn out. Yuji used Lapse Blue, Red, Reversal Red, and everything like that. Max Blue, Max Red. And even the first stages of Hollow Purple, the one that, you know, Awakening Gojo used, hitting Jogo. Jogo did heal from that, but he then get dealt in with a ratio cleave. Now, with that being said, any damage done to Yuji was kind of thwarted. And also, Yuji doesn't really use Infinity as much because he's gonna allow people to touch him. He wants to have a fair 1v1. He's doing it for the love of the game. So yeah. Anyways, let's continue. Yuji heads down to where, well, Nanami is. Now, the thing that Yuji sees is Nanami blowing up and Mahito. Instantly, Mahito is like, well, if it isn't Yuji Itadori. As in a split second, Yuji would appear right behind Mahito, upside down, hitting him with a reversal red. Cue the delirious music or something. So anyways, as this battle begins, Mahito tries to punch Yuji, touch Yuji, whatever. He can't. Limitless, my bad. Infinity is active. But Yuji allows him to go through it. Seeing as Yuji is confident that he won't lose, he allows Mahito to go through it so he can slip past Mahito's punches and absolutely rock Mahito's shit. So, anyways, the battle continues. Now, Yuji is whooping the absolute living hell out of Mahito. As Mahito would split into multiple beings, he would run off. Now, he's running towards his other self. As Nobara is there, he would touch Nobara's face. Now, Yuji would punch Mahito away. And this is when Yuji would go up to Nobara, about to heal her, but he gets hit with a black flash from behind. As this is when, Yuji uses a lapse blue and then a reversal red, putting it on his fist, punching Mahito as Mahito gets sent flying. You guys are like, damn, Mahito's a crazy lad to keep continuing this fight knowing he's gonna lose. Yeah, he is. Anyways, Yuji says idle transfiguration, touching Nobara's face, healing her, but she's still passed out. Todo would show up with some guy, this healing kid, I don't know. He takes Nobara. Todo and Yuji are about to jump Mahito. Mahito blows the roof off of the subway. And this is when that, little black flash thing happens. As Mahito hits a black flash and then hits a 0.2 second domain, cutting the arm off from Todo, Yuji would stop this entire madness as Mahito would hit a black flash on Yuji. Or on Todo, transforming into body of distorted killing. Now, this is when Yuji and, I guess Mahito matched up with Yuji a little bit, but he's still gonna get whooped. Yuji hits him with a black flash, sending him flying. As Yuji would be about to finish the kill, shooting a max lapse blue at Mahito, but Mahito would be disfigured and, twisted and everything like that. As Yuji used flowing red scale, as he is, he's about to fight Kenjaku, as Kenjaku would have shown up. Now, with that being said, everybody else shows up. I think Yuki shows up. Urame is there on Kenjaku's side, of course. For some reason, the entire Kyoto team, by the way, Mekamaru is dead, and everything like that. So yeah. Anyways, the crazy thing is, Mekamaru could have just ran away. He literally could have just ran away. Kenjaku wasn't gonna do anything. Kenjaku was just gonna absorb Mahito. But anyways, let's continue. So, with that being said, everybody's there, along with Choso. Choso showed up saying, "So you really are my little brother, huh?" As anyways, the fight commences. I am a little confused on this fight, but Choso just did no damage to Kenjaku. Alongside that, Yuji's about to enter the fight. Kenjaku doesn't want the smoke. You see, even though Kenjaku is, more skilled than Yuji, Yuji has more hacks. Yuji can just touches, Kenjaku once, Kenjaku's cooked. Yuji has to cleave Kenjaku. Kenjaku has to dodge out the way using RCT, everything like that. So, yeah. Anyways, let's just continue on. Season 3. Gojo has been sealed. Yuji and Choso are killing curses within Shibuya. Kyoto, everybody else, they're not there. Now, reminder, do they get killed? No. Noritoshi Kamo is alive. I don't know if Momo is alive. Okay, so literally all of the Kyoto students that showed up there to help are alive. They're just not there. So right now, it's just, the starting scenes of season 3 where, Yuji and Choso, everything, they're feeling grief. Yuji's feeling grief, kind of, but not as much. You see, so Sukuna never took over. Yuji was just that strong. He was like that. That being said, his execution is in order because the higher-ups see that Gojo is gone. So Utah Okotu is sent there, and yo, Utah, I know you're like that, but you're gonna get whooped. So they have been killing curses throughout the night into day. So yeah. Anyways, guys, do I stop here and then I could continue with part 2? Honestly, no. I think I'm gonna get to the start of the culling games and everything like that, and then after that, and also they're not gonna have to sneak around Hikari, because Yuji is 100% stronger than Hikari without his domain. Like, if Hikari is on a roll, he's already heated up, he has all that fever, all the excitement. And obviously he's hit a jackpot. Like a 777 jackpot is stronger than a 444 jackpot is. So yeah. Anyways, that would be like a type of mixed battle, because that's the thing. Idol Transfiguration could just immediately take out Hikari, but it doesn't matter. We're not there yet. Utah, my bad. Naoya shows up. Obviously, he appears right there, right in front. As Naoya is actually here to kill Megumi. But, he sees, Yuji. And he rushes at Yuji. But Yuji would grab, him. He would grab him. His perception is way too fast, okay? Now, with that being said, Yuji points a finger at Naoya, saying, "Who the hell are you, huh?" This is when Yuji would turn into a frame. Now, Naoya touched Yuji's hand, but reminder that Yuji touched Naoya. Projection sorcery. You're allowed to project yourself within 24 frames. That's interesting. As anyways, Yuji would get hit, broken through the frame. Naoya would try and touch Yuji again, but Yuji would cut off his arm. Or, no, Yuji wouldn't cut off his arm. Yuji would just cut him. He would just cut him. And then he would say, "So, are you going to explain who you are?" As Naoya says that he's a part of the Zenin clan and he's actually here to kill Megumi. Now, as Naoya is talking, this is when Utah Okotsu would show up. Cursed energy would have spread out like crazy. I'm just thinking, yo, Rika, use your cursed energy, spread it out all over Shibuya to make me look like I have aura. No, I'm just joking. Nah, that's actually Utah's cursed energy. And genuinely, Utah is a powerhouse. Like, when it comes to sort of, battle IQ and hacks, Utah is a powerhouse. But in this what if, Yuji is more of a powerhouse. So yeah. Anyways, Naoya would try and touch Yuji one more time, but he notices that he can't reach Yuji. As Yuji says, oh yeah, by the way, Yuji's wearing a blindfold. As this is when Yuji would reveal his blindfold, saying, interesting. As anyways, Utah being sent to execute Yuji understands that he's not going to be able to. So he explains the thing to Yuji, saying, we kind of have to get rid of this. So with that being said, they begin to fight. Choso and Yuji begin to fight. Choso and Naoya begin to fight. And with that being said, Utah and Yuji are alone fighting. Now, Utah would explain, saying, "So look, I kind of need to make you look dead so that they can order you to look like..." Technically, he's giving Yuji a plan, saying that he has to fake his own death so that they can, stop the culling games. Because the culling games was just started and everything like that. So yeah. But anyways, Yuji agrees, and this is when Yuji would show up, or I guess Yuta would be dragging Yuji's quote-unquote dead body. Naoya is defeated. Choso is standing over him. Yuta smacks Naoya away in one shot. This is when Yuta tells Naoya to go report Yuji as dead to the higher-ups. Now, Naoya would have gotten up, obviously injured, and we just have that skip to where they are, like, at a campfire place. Obviously, Yuji would have woken up. Now, Naoya would be skeptical because, Gojo was pretty strong, and Yuji apparently had his techniques, but it's whatever. So, everything goes as in canon. They are now talking as there's Choso, Yuji, and Yuta. And, Yuta asks, like, who's Choso to Yuji, and Yuji says that that's his brother. It's his big brother. As, Choso would smile, as we have a little time skip. No, not a time skip. What am I talking about? Actually, yes. Like 3 days later, they go. First of all, Yuta is going to the Sendai colony. And Megumi and Yuji would be going with someone. Because they needed Hakari first. Okay, so here we go. They make it back to Jujutsu High. Yuki. Damn, did I really forget? Yuki, Yuji, Maki. Okay, sorry guys. So, after, Yuta, Yuji, and they were talking, they go to Tengen. Yuji Todori, Megumi Fushiguro, Yuta Okotsu, Yuki Tsukimoto, or Tsukumo. Choso is a death painting, and Maki Zenin, addressed as Child of the Zenin. So, Yuji, Megumi, Yuta, Yuki, Choso, and Maki are all at Tengen. They're present. Tengen explains the rules of the Culling Games, explains everything, saying why it's so bad, and that what, Kenjaku's planning. And she would look at Yuji, what can we... Honestly, I don't think gender applies to Tengen. Actually, yes it does. So she would look at Yuji, and she would say, You have a technique that's allowed you to copy other techniques, similar to Yuta Okotsu, but your technique is way more stronger. As Yuji would say, yeah, well, I can copy, I guess, any and every technique. As, Tengen would be like, which makes me think, would you be able to copy my technique? But I wouldn't want to put you through that pain of having to live for thousands of years like me, and having to sustain yourself with star vessels. As Yuji'd be like, yeah, seems bad by the looks of it, as he would look at Tengen. As anyways, this is when, Tengen says that she needs 2 people to protect her. So, that being said, there could actually be 3 people to protect her. The thing is, Yuji could run a gauntlet, okay? Yuji can run a gauntlet. And he definitely could be at 2 places in one spot. 2 places at once. So yeah. Anyways, I feel like, would it even be necessary if Megumi was there? Because Megumi is not really like a heavy hitter. And Yuta has to go along with Yuji. So Yuta and Yuji literally are going to be carrying Sendai. So yeah. I guess Choso and Yuki stay. Now, Yuji would say, alright, brother, stay safe. As Choso would do that, little Yuji. As, we just have the time to where, so first of all, Maki, Yuta, Megumi, and, Yuji are going to be going. Yuki and Choso stay. And guys, I don't know, the fandom is they made a ship of Yuki and Choso. In what way are these 2 characters going to associate with each other in that way? And reminder, isn't Choso 150 years old? No, he's not 150 years old. That's just how much his object was there. Okay, but he's still the older brother. the best older brother to Yuji. Anyways, Culling Games arc. So, they go to recruit Hikari Kinji. Yuta goes to Sendai, and everything like that. Now, first of all, Yuji and Megumi, they just walk right through. Like, of course they can. And by the way, Panda is there for some reason. Anyways, they walk right through. They barge through where Hikari is at. They're like, hey, Hikari, Gojo is sealed. We kind of need your help. As Hikari be like, the hell? As anyways, they explain everything. And yeah, they get Hikari on their side. Kirara, I have no idea how to say her name. Kirara, my bad. Kirara would, have that same stupid face, that funny face when she heard Gojo got sealed. She's like, what? Gojo got sealed? And like even Hikari made a goofy face. And like honestly, I love the character dynamic. But yeah. Anyways, we just hit 1 hour. Let's go. So, anyways, they make it to the Culling Games. They enter the Culling Games. By the way, Panda was with them, but Panda did not enter the Culling Games. I'm not sure. So yeah. Anyways. Oh yeah, I will be ending it on episode 12. So the 3-way domain clash. Do I want to Yuji to add a rule? Honestly, if it comes up to it, Yuji would actually start killing. So yeah. Anyways. Imagine if they made a rule saying like, oh, anybody who does not want to kill is, they get to leave the Culling Game, but someone outside replaces them. So it's not necessarily ending the game. Just they're putting people who want to actually participate in the game. They'll never make a rule like that, though. Anyways, continue. Yuji and Megumi walk into, one of the colonies. And yeah, they begin to fly from the sky. Now, obviously, Yuji would summon Nue. Or actually not even. He would get hit by some helicopter lady. Not helicopter lady, jet hair lady. The lady would hit him. He would touch her, saying idle transfiguration, and she would pop. I know uncharacteristic for Yuji, but at this point, Yuji is serious. Like, he knows the threat. He's more serious about this. He doesn't want, this to happen, because if Kenjaku wins, that means that humanity is merged with Tengen. And with that being said, if one thing goes bad, like one bad thought, I guess everybody goes mad and everything like that. So yeah. Anyways, yeah, she dies. The guy with the helicopter hat also gets cooked up with one slice, as, he gets just slashed, cut in half immediately, as Yuji has 10 points. Now, some kid that I guess helped, that got helped by Yuji when he was getting bullied, would show up, and he would say, hey, I think I know where that guy is, as obviously Yuji asks him where Higuruma is, and everything like that. But first off, Yuji goes to where Megumi is. As there was, there was that rule that was added, saying that, players' information are available to everybody, which I'm pretty sure was added by Higuruma or Kashimo. I'm not sure. Anyways, Yuji, knowing that, Higuruma is within the theater, he goes to go where, Megumi is. Now, he makes it to Megumi, as Megumi was, on some apartment building. There's a scorpion-haired lady behind him. And then there's Registar and some Bakugo guy, character, and an old man. Anyways, oh no, that guy's not there, but there's another white-haired man there. Anyways, Yuji would appear right in front of Megumi, obviously looking at Registar, saying, so, who's this? As this is when an eye would fall and explode, but Yuji would just, his infinity would cover it. He would not get touched by it, but Megumi jumps into one of the apartment buildings. Now, with that being said, Registar, did you get him? As, one of them says, nope, he just ran into one of the apartment buildings. And then they see Yuji, unscathed, saying, so, you're an enemy, huh? Okay, look, we need your points, okay? can you just transfer them and this won't really be much of a, difficult situation? As Reggie Star would laugh, saying, transfer my points to you? Who do you think I am, brat? As one of the guys, the guy that got his head split open by Megumi? Well, he rushes in at Yuji. Now, Yuji would just backhand him out of the building. Of course, the guy hits something and dies. As Yuji would get 5 points, he would be at 15 points. Now, Yuji says, look here, do I have to beat it out of you? As Reggie Star summons a whole bunch of bullshit, Yuji would just cut through all of it. Reminder, Reggie Star's technique is useless against Shrine, or even Limitless, or literally anything else. If he was in a fight with anybody else, he would have been cooked. Yuji would have whooped him even faster. Probably because he's in more endurance-like, and he would have found out to put him in water. Anyways, this is when Yuji would summon a reversal red, hitting Reggie Star in his chest. As Reggie Star would get sent into the building, he would begin to die. First of all, Takaba didn't show up yet, but when he does, he begins to take out that Bakugo-like guy. They begin fighting and shit like that, as we just leave it to Reggie Star and Yuji. Now, Reggie Star would be looking at Yuji as he's like, what the hell are you? As Yuji would say, well then. As Yuji touches his hand, Yuji would say, so, this is your technique. I don't know what his technique is. I'll just say register, because Reggie Star. Anyways, he takes one of Reggie Star's receipts, saying, a basketball. As he summons it, as Reggie Star's eyes widen, saying, how can you use my technique? There's no way. As Yuji would say, well then, he slashes Reggie Star. His throat is kind of cut, kind of. Reggie Star decides to transfer 46 points to Yuji to Dori. Yuji is now at 61 points. Because 46 plus 15? Is it 61? I think it's 60. Reminder, Yuji did this within the span of a couple of minutes. So yeah. Anyways, Reggie Star is dead. The Scorpion Girl is like, oh shit. Megumi looks at her pissed. And Yuji is like, alright Megumi, you could protect her or whatever. I'm gonna go find Higuruma. As Megumi would say, you're really gonna leave me alone? He wouldn't say that. But, Anyways, Megumi goes off into an alleyway. And that's when Angel finds him. Everything like that goes on. Which I'm pretty sure Angel is Hannah. I don't know. But, it's a good thing that Hannah, Angel, I guess. I don't know. Yuji finds Higuruma. And nothing else. Higuruma uses, or he starts talking with Yuji, saying, you're gonna have to pay me to talk with you. As Higuruma would get up, he would say, Yoi Tenkai. Now, immediately inside of an domain expansion, list of rules would be put out. Yuji is, I'm not gonna lie, Yuji is accused of murder. And even though Yuji did the murder, he still did the murder in defense. He still did murder. Yuji pleads guilty, and he only gets one curse technique stripped away. You want to guess what that is? That is the 10 shadows. Now, this is only temporary. Alongside that, any weapon that he had on him was confiscated, and some of his cursed energy was also sealed away for a little bit. As Yuji said, so I can't use the 10 shadows. Say, have you ever been up against somebody that can copy? Actually, should I make it to where, Yuji's ability to copy gets taken away and he loses all of the techniques and after he gets it back? No. Anyways, Yuji begins to fight with Higuruma. Now, Higuruma already knows the evidence saying that Yuji is kind of innocent, because the way Yuji did kill them, though, was kind of, it was in self-defense, but he still killed them. Regardless, he could have found a way to, find a better out. I don't know how to say it. But, anyways, let's continue. The battle continues. Higuruma gets absolutely whooped. Yuji spares him, saying, look, Higuruma, I'm going to need you to add a rule. allowing people to travel. I don't know what rule they add, but they add a rule. Actually, to travel through colonies. Yes, a rule to travel through colonies. Anyways, by the way, we are doing only anime only, so we are not going into Shinjuku, Gojo fight with Sukuna, none of that. Also, I gotta find a weird way to allow Sukuna to fight Gojo. And I think I'm gonna give Sukuna Megumi's body, because that's literally all he can get right now. And a reminder, he can't take control of Yuji, so he's gonna say Enchain, put a finger inside of Megumi's mouth, and Megumi is gonna be forced to eat it, putting him at, 19 fingers? Yeah. So yeah, anyways, yeah, let's continue. With that rule being added, Yuji says, so, can you help us out with, ending the games? As Higuruma says, fine, I guess. As anyways, Yuji goes to Sendai. Traveling through colonies, he goes to Sendai Colony. This is the big bad. Now, Yuta is running away from the curse. He kills that curse, the cockroach, but that cockroach already performed like mitosis and now has a second copy of himself. But anyways, that second copy is found by Yuji, and Yuji uses reverse curse technique. Absolutely obliterates that curse. Anyways, with that being said, Udo would sent Yuta flying. This is when Yuji would begin to dash over there. As Yuta and Yuji together, they're a powerhouse. Now, that being said, Yuji's cursed energy as he entered Sendai would have shot everywhere. Reminder that he's now fully integrated with Sukuna's powers, so his cursed energy levels are even greater than Yuta. And you guys can see how I'm making him overpowered at the end. But everybody senses this guy. First off, Darov was killed by Yuta. So it's literally just the 4-way or 5-way because the cockroach was killed. So yeah, the cockroach was killed twice. So yeah. Anyways, imagine if that cockroach was able to multiply, any cockroach cursed like that, bro. Oh my god. And people had to live through that, bro. Was cleaving people? Hell no. But anyways, let's continue. Udo, Ryu, and Yuta. They would sense this cursed energy as they're like, huh. As Yuta would say, damn, Yuji, he's gotten way stronger than Shibuya. As Yuji would start making his way to the 3-way clashing, as they are all fighting, first off, Udo would back off as she floats in the sky. Yuji would look at her saying, interesting. What is your technique? As she says, I don't have to explain it to you. She rushes in at Yuji. Ryu and Yuta would begin fighting. First of all, Yuji would make quick and easy work of her. She gets cooked up. I don't know if she did lose her hand completely. But anyways, Yuji beats Udo and brings it to Ryo Ishigori. But they do that beam clash. Just this once. Let's LARP. But anyways, they do that beam clash. Yuta gets the points from both of them after obviously healing them. And yeah, after that, this is the end. No 3-way domain clash. Actually, they had the 3-way domain clash, but then Yuji showed up. So yeah. But yeah, anyways, I really hoped you guys enjoyed the movie to What If Yuji Could Copy Techniques. I know I didn't utilize it to its fullest extent, but I utilized it to a point where he didn't fully master the techniques, but he integrated all of his techniques together, except for Junpei's poison. But I mean, I did use Flying Red Scale. I did use some of it. idle transfiguration was just a big part. Like, if you have 3 good techniques, you would use those good techniques instead of the bad techniques. But those aren't also bad techniques. But anyways, peace. Hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment down below what you guys thought. And I'm out.